Hello, Instagram. I am going to see how I go live. Usually the connection is a little bit patchy when I am on data. However, I am driving back after dropping Gavin and Violet off in Bluff, and they are going to be away for hopefully 4 weeks. Hopefully they stay away for 4 weeks, walking the Te Araroa Trail. So I've got an electric car and I am waiting for it to charge so that I can drive back home. So I thought I would jump on live and just share with whoever wants to listen about how I'm going to be using my 4 weeks off. Hi Fiona and hi Ange. And you guys are more than welcome to ask me any questions as I talk about my upcoming time off. So for some of you who have been working with me, or sometimes you've been to my free masterclasses, or I might have shared with you in my free group, that I love to have time to myself, and I try and do it on a regular basis. It used to be every 12 weeks, and now more recently it's been about every 6 weeks, where I just try and take myself away from family for 3 or 4 days. So it used to be that I would go away to a friend's house, a study buddy, a work buddy, and we would just put our heads down and we would tidy up mess and we would brainstorm together. Or it would be that Gavin and Violet would go away camping for a few days and just leave me in the house on my own. Or it would be that I would literally just go to a hotel a few hundred meters down the road or in the next town to give myself that time and space. And I found it really difficult to spend the money on a hotel when I had a perfectly good home. But what's really important to me, and something that I've recognized, is how much I need a decent length of time and space to myself without a husband and without a child distracting me. As much as I love them, my brain just gets so inspired and so creative when I have a decent amount of space. And I'm going to talk about how I'm going to roll into this 4 weeks where I've got space completely to myself, except for my little sausage dog Lola to look after, because it's not going to all be focused on work. So time and space is really important for me. And if you've heard me talk about doshas, there's 3 doshas: Vata, Pitta, Kapha. I'm a very Pitta type. And a lot of the Pitta and the Vata type people who have family, who have children, I say, my gosh, if you can get your head around it and just work yourself up to this, if you can get a few days away from your family, even if it's just like 1 day to start off with, if you can get 3 or 4 days away from your family to be on your own, it really is life-changing. And I can tell you that because that is the feedback that I've had from people who've done my course and heard me say that, or even just in the free stuff, as I said. I get messages saying, oh my gosh, it was just so amazing. I had a day to myself without my kids, without my partner. I managed to take myself away for a weekend, and just the time and space to drop into whatever it is you need is really, really life-changing. Anyway, so let me get into what am I going to be doing with my 4 weeks off, which I'm super, super excited about. Now, I set an intention for myself that 2022 is going to be a big year. I don't know how it's going to be big, but I just know it is. I recently sold my bricks and mortar clinic business, which was a very bittersweet decision. It was my clinic baby of 5.5 years. But this project, the Art of Listening to Body, all the online coaching that I do, has just taken off massively in the last 18 months. And this is where my energy is. This is where I say my soul work is. I just absolutely love doing this work and sharing it with you. And so I was feeling more of a pull to do this and not have my attention divided with the clinic, which was something that I was really passionate about for a long time. So just at the beginning of the month in December, I transitioned the business into the hands of somebody else who is willing to grow it so that I can focus all of my attention and intention on the art of listening to your body. So I feel like 2022 is going to be a big year, and I've set the intention to fully express myself more than I have in this past 18 months, and to just go all in, but to try and create spaciousness in my life at the same time. So this does not mean hustling and making my days full or really busy. It means doing the work that I love, but making sure that I have space, time, and freedom at the same time. I also talk about how challenges are always going to come up, even if you follow your soul work. So I make sure that even though I don't want to manifest challenges in my life, I know that they're going to come up, that I have space so that I am able to walk with them, move through them, and deal with them so that I can come back to focusing on my work. So if you haven't set an intention for 2022 of how you're going to be moving forwards, especially if you haven't had a great 2021, then I encourage you to set an intention. And it can just be very basic. As I said, mine is go all in, express fully, and create spaciousness. So I get excited about this time of year because last December in 2020, I made the decision to stop working in my clinic as an osteopath. And it was really scary because it was very safe, it was very secure. But then I had January off. I kind of got to the point of going, oh my gosh, I really need a break. I need to just shut off for a little bit. But my aim for anyone that I work with is that you don't go through your year just hanging out for your holidays and going, oh my God, I just so need this. And, I need to completely shut off from my work. I don't get like that, which is why I'm able to show up for you at the moment in between Christmas and New Year, because I love doing this. And I don't get to this time of year going, oh my God, holy cow, I've just got to sign off social media and that's it. This is actually a time of year where I love to organise myself, and I get a little bit annoyed that everyone is closed down because I like to organise what's happening for 2022. All right, so thanks everyone who has joined. I'm just talking about how I'm going to be using my 4 weeks off now that Gavin and Violet are off walking the Te Araroa Trail, which is the length of New Zealand. They're just going to be walking it every school holidays. But yeah, they'll be away for 4 weeks. So make sure you set an intention for 2022 if this is all you're going to watch of this live today. And I will download it and pop it on my grid and put it on Facebook as well. So, and by the way, I'm in my car because I'm charging my electric car and it just takes a little while. I'm heading home to Wanaka. But yeah, I get excited about this time because last year I stopped working in the clinic and I did take a month off. I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And I have learnt to trust so much that giving myself space and time is just such a portal for creativity. And this is why I know that 2022 is going to be big for me. And I don't entirely know how it's going to play out. But I know that especially over the next 4 or 5 weeks, having this space and all the space that I'm going to create for myself next year, that ideas are going to download. They're going to just become a lot clearer to me, because I can tell you I have a million ideas. I haven't put everything out there. I've just put my core work out there, and I have so much more that I want to offer. I even have names for things, but I don't quite know how they look. So as I give myself space, my ideas come together, and then I'm able to put something out there, like an offer for you guys to do something with me. And I'll tell you a little bit about them in a minute, of what's hanging there at the moment. So officially my time off starts today and I can already feel the space, but I'm not going to be diving straight into work or anything like that. I already felt that this morning I was shifting my space. I'm really big on decluttering. I also see a lot of the people that I work with just feel the urge to declutter and clear their space, Marie Kondo style. So I'm all for decluttering your physical space, your external, your internal environment, your emotions. That's my thing. Helping people process their emotions. And that's usually what happens. They start to process their emotions and all of a sudden they're inspired to clear the mess. And then they just feel so much more spaciousness. So I was moving my plants around this morning, just reorganizing my space, but not messing with the feng shui. And I am probably going to be spending a couple of days just decluttering, like cleaning out the fridge, moving some stuff on that I can just give away. I was sharing with one of my groups that after I sold the clinic, I had a lot of good stuff, and along with some things at home, ended up having a garage sale and thought this will be great. We'll make some money from this. We did do it the weekend before Christmas. Thought some people would want some last minute Christmas gifts, but we didn't have many people turn up. And I was like, oh my gosh, we've got really good stuff. This isn't a junky garage sale. And Gav just didn't want the stuff in the garage and he gave it all away. And I was a little bit heartbroken because I thought, oh, we could have made a lot from that. But I do love to give stuff away, and it actually felt really good that it was one less thing that we had to worry about. I don't like selling on the local Facebook groups because I can't stand people going back and forth and not committing to when they're going to pick stuff up and how they're going to pay for it and then bail on the thing. Anyway, so it was really good just to go, okay, this really good stuff is going to the hospice shop. Someone else can furnish their home and have these really cool things in their house, and I'm sure that whatever we desire is going to come back into our life. But obviously we don't need more material stuff because we're trying to get rid of it in a garage sale. So we've had that declutter. Now, one thing I would admit, and I will admit to you guys, is I don't have an issue decluttering stuff except for my clothes. It is the one thing that I've hung on to. I'm from Melbourne and I've been living in New Zealand for almost over 15 years now, and I still have a lot of issues getting rid of my clothes from Melbourne because I just feel like I'm not going to find them anywhere in New Zealand, even some of the stuff that I don't wear. And it's funny because I know and I've seen that when I declutter and when I create space, that more good things will come into my life. I've seen this with my clients over and over and over again. And I just wonder if I finally let go of my clothes, if maybe even more good stuff will come my way. Not in the form of clothes, but just whatever I have created the space for. Now, if we knew that that's all we had to do, just let go of one thing, then we would probably all do that. So it's just not the way life works though. Anyway, I will celebrate with all of you who know that I have a lot of difficulty letting go of my clothes. Christian, hello. So at what point are you okay with giving something away and trying to sell it for a profit? Yeah, so I don't actually sell a lot of things at all. And that was probably with a garage sale and people, well, it wasn't selling it for a profit, I don't believe, because we had it priced really, really low just to move the stuff on, but probably not good timing. And I'm always into just reading the signs and just going, you know what, obviously we weren't meant to sell it, so just give it away and feel good about giving it away. So at what point am I okay with giving something away and trying to sell it for a profit? It depends what it is, really. I can't think of anything at the top of my head, but I do give a lot of stuff away, and I love how happy it does make some people who are so willing to receive it. Okay, so yeah, decluttering is probably something that I'm going to do. And I will spend a little bit of time on my computer. I like to go through and delete my emails. I like to tidy that up. I like to look at my end of year accounts, which is really nice now because I didn't just have this business and the clinic business. I also had 3 online product businesses, which I wasn't actually that passionate about. They were a project with my brother-in-law and it was great to see how that worked, but I just realized that it's very hard to drive something that you're not passionate about. Gosh, I had some other stuff going on, but over the years I had accumulated all these little businesses, but only 2 of them were really kind of thriving. One of which I just said I've moved on. I've moved on from the clinic, but I've realized that I'm decluttering. I'm not seeing my success in having multiple businesses. I am scaling them back and coming back to this project, which really is about me. I didn't and still don't, and probably getting used to being like the face of this. Before that, I used to run a team and it was all about the team, and it felt really good putting my energy into that. So a big process of decluttering, and hope that this gives you some ideas. Physical stuff, clothes, just material things that you might want to move on to another home, just to clear your space. Maybe you also need to declutter some businesses if you have multiple businesses. I love that I only have a personal email and one business email to look at now, not 8 or 10 at some point. That was just a little bit of a nightmare. So what is it that you can move on from your life and move out of your physical space? And I get that it's not easy. Making decisions to move stuff on is definitely not easy, but this is where I talk to a lot of people about just tune into your intuition, like with something basic, some material thing that maybe you want to give away. Usually we know that a decision we make, whether it's giving something away or taking on an opportunity, we usually know in our heart and our gut if it feels right. And sometimes it doesn't make sense, but I really encourage you to have the space, the mental and physical clarity and space, so that you can listen to your intuition and make decisions. And this has probably been my biggest lesson in the last few months, is make a decision even though it doesn't make sense, and the universe truly does work it out for you. And that's what happened when I sold my business. It was something that I was mulling over for a very, very long time. And then all of a sudden I just woke up one day and was like, I'm going to sell it. And then I took the action. I made some phone calls and it all flowed extremely quickly. Within a month, the business was in the hands of someone else. So it was letting go of that safety of the clinic, and putting my eggs almost in one basket, the art of listening to your body. So decluttering your space, and that's what I'm going to be doing. And then I have a thing for Marvel movies, so I'm going to download Disney Plus. I was trying to look up, can I buy the DVD box set, but I don't have a DVD player anymore. But Disney Plus apparently has this. So I love Marvel movies like the Avengers. Some of them, like Spider-Man, I'm not that keen on, but I'm going to have my time off for the next 4 weeks without any husband and without any child, and I am just going to watch these. So I never got around to a long time explaining, actually, I will explain it, but my clinic name, which I no longer have, is called MetaMed. Now, it doesn't exist anymore, but the name MetaMed was inspired from all these Marvel movies and the metahumans. So meta means beyond, and so MetaMed meant beyond medicine, because I was an osteopath, which was seen as maybe a little bit conventional, a little bit alternative. But all of this work I do is just totally beyond a lot of the conventional stuff. It's all about the mind-body connection, emotions, energetics. It's really fascinating. So yeah, that's how I came up with the name of my clinic business, is because of the Marvel movies and the Avengers and the metahumans who are just beyond human and have these gifts and these superpowers. So I'm going to be using my time off just to indulge in a little bit of Disney Plus and Marvel movies. And it was actually a few weeks ago I went on a retreat, and that was to anchor in the celebration of selling my clinic business. But it was really great. It was about what are your intentions, which is something that I often do with my clients, but to have it led by someone else was really amazing. And as I said earlier, my intention for 2022 is go all in. It's going to be big, express fully, and create spaciousness. And now is the time that I feel like I want to do even more for myself. And for 2.5 years, I've been saying, I really want to go horse riding on a regular basis. And there's a horse riding place just down the road for me. So I've started horse riding lessons. I go twice a week. I ride a horse called Hope, who's quite big. but I'm getting used to it. So I'm going horse riding a couple of times a week. I also got a personal trainer because the first time in my life I all of a sudden feel unfit. I used to go climbing with Gav and do all sorts of things. But yeah, I have to admit that it's just not my thing anymore. Gav and I were having a bit of a discussion. And he's like, you need to get out into nature a little bit more. I'm like, I do, but I just like to do it in short bursts. I was saying before because I've dropped them off at the bottom of New Zealand and they've started their hike. And I picked them up just like a few hours later because it was about 16 kilometres of highway and it's very boring. But it started raining here and it wasn't meant to rain. And when I picked them up, they were soaking wet shoes, wet socks. And I was like, oh my God, this is my worst nightmare now. I used to be able to tolerate this, but if I had to start a 4-week walk with wet shoes and wet socks, I would not be happy. Anyway, so we've just agreed that he can do this amazing stuff with Violet. It is an incredible opportunity. I don't think most kids would get to do this because he does end up carrying her pack and sometimes her. Yeah, great opportunity for them to get out into nature. He loves spending time with her. She doesn't whinge for him. She whinges for me. Even like the first half an hour that I ended up walking with him, I said, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to have a nap in my car and I'll see you in a few hours. And I love doing all of my work and I love having my alone time. So we're just going to go do our separate things for a little bit. So I'm just going to give myself plenty of space and time, and it's really great as a parent, even though I've got one child. I know some of you have got 5 or more, which I don't know how you do it. But even though I've got one child, the time and space is just so important to me. And as I said, when I had this time off in January last year, so many ideas came to me for the Art of Listening to Your Body. That's when I launched one of my core courses, Release, which is coming up in February, and was able to provide and share more on an even bigger level. So it's just nice not to also be restricted to, I've got to do all of my thinking from 9 till 3. I say to people that if you want to create anything, you need to reassess or make any decisions. Give yourself at least a good 4-hour block, if not more, and do that multiple days in a row to help you get clarity to make decisions that feel right and that are in line with your intuition and also your values. So yeah, that's probably just like how I'm going to be spending the first part of my 4 weeks on my own. I'm going to be catching up with friends. I'm going to be having some nice phone calls and catch-ups with people that I haven't spoken to in a while. And I do hope that I will show up live here a little bit more often. Christian, thank you for sharing. I'm so grateful to hear your story. No worries. And something that I've learned about my human design, which is a personality profile that you might have heard of, it's a really unique mix of lots of different philosophies, but my human design is that I'm a responder. So I love interacting with people and I just want the questions so that I can respond to them. So I have just wrapped up the practitioner training. I've wrapped up working with some one-to-one clients and I hope to share their testimonials with you really soon, because it is just amazing what happens to people when they process their emotions and create space on that emotional level for all of the amazing things that are available to all of us. But yeah, I go a little bit silent on my free Facebook group and on here because a lot of my energy goes into these groups. So now that I've also got this time off, I'm probably going to show up a little bit more on here. I would also love to start my free Zoom rooms again, where we just all jump on Zoom and you can ask me a question and you can be coached by me. Sometimes it becomes very emotional, but it is amazing to just get a little bit of clarity if you're stuck. I do intend to record these from now on so that other people can learn. In the past, they've never been recorded. That's why you don't see them. But I do a lot better when I can actually converse with people, and really appreciate those of you who have commented on this live as I'm talking. So I'm going to be doing more free live Zoom rooms. I love to speak to you. I love to help you unblock your blocks and just give you some starting points. But I also just want to share with you a couple of other things that are coming up. First couple in January. Thanks, Christian. So one of the coaches that I work with, she says that people don't understand what I do a lot of the time. Not in so many words, but I have had a few friends go, I don't really know what you're doing at the moment. And I'm going to show up more to explain bit by bit all of the different pieces. I won't do that today. But I have this thing called what I call deadline brain, where all of my ideas come to me at the very last minute. And that means that sometimes I put a couple of things out there, like I've just told you about. I'm going to get these free Zoom rooms going again. You'll see them on social media when I do them. And I'm going to tell you about 2 other things. And you're like, what do I go to? I don't know. Anyway, so for those of you who have gotten this far and listening, in 2022, in January, so that was when I seemed to feel like I had more time from my free time, I am going to be holding a Vision 2022 workshop. So I have these 4 worksheets that I have evolved over the last 7 or 8 years, and they are what I use on a regular basis for myself that have helped me create the life that I have now. So I think I'm a pretty good manifester, but I am pretty good at setting intentions for myself, even though they feel a little bit impossible. And again, trusting the process of giving myself space, trusting the process of the emotional releases that I facilitate people through, and trusting the process of setting intentions. I want to share with you that this is what's helped me get to where I am at the moment. I've been pretty happy with the last 7-8 years of my life when I first started this. And I want you to know that it's possible for you too. But quite often we don't create space for ourselves to just really dream and create intentions. So I have these 4 worksheets that I get a lot of my clients to do. Now, I have noticed that some of them will do them, and it's amazing what they create and what I get to hear stories of a few years along the path. But there are some people who have these worksheets, and I go on about how powerful they are, but they just get really stuck and blocked. So I am going to host a live workshop on Zoom, and we'll have a Facebook group for Vision 2022. That's what it's called. And you're going to get these 4 worksheets. You get PDFs that you can print out and handwrite on, or you get Google Docs where you can do it digitally if you prefer. And they are 4 worksheets: core values, strengths, your desires, and your legacy. Now, it sounds really basic, but these are 4 foundational exercises that I think are really important to help you move forwards with whatever your intentions might be for 2022. So I'm going to open this up in, well, actually you can, if you're on Instagram and you're familiar with the link in the bio, it is in my bio link. Quick description. If you go to my sort of home profile, you'll see it says drjenong.com/welcome, and you'll see the Vision 2022 workshop. So that's going to be $111. And in the first week of January, we're going to have 4 2-hour live calls where I take you through each worksheet. So we'll do 1 worksheet per day for 4 days. And it takes about an hour to do a worksheet, but you're going to have the time and the accountability. So I'm going to give you writing time. It takes an hour to do the worksheet, and then I'm going to open up an hour of discussion and Q&A time. And the replays will be available on the Facebook group, and I'll keep the Facebook group open for a whole month so that you can do this self-paced if you wish. And we'll just build in a community, because when you share your vision and your desires and your values, it is more likely that these are going to come to fruition for you. So the Vision 2022 workshop, I think it's just great timing, and I'm one for angel numbers in 2022. It's another reason why I think it's going to be a big year. The that is going to start in January. The link is in my bio. I can't actually even remember what the URL is, so I will pop it in the comments as well. But that's going to start January, and I would love you to jump on board. Even if you've done these exercises before, it's so good to rehash them and just be inspired by other people's ideas as well. So that is starting in January. And I'm going to hopefully do more of these pop-up masterclasses and workshops in 2022. Fiona, looking forward to this. The value sheet has been challenging to do for me. So yeah, those of you who were on release, I did give you the values worksheet, but no direction on it. Some people did it, and a lot of people say that the core values worksheet, even though I know you found it challenging, Fiona, they say it's just the best core values exercise they have done. And I think that if you can get really clear on your values, you're going to come out with 5 top values. This is just really amazing to help you set your boundaries and therefore create your intentions. I live my life by my values, and if my brain is full, my emotional cup is full, I just have to check in with my values when I'm making a decision. And if a lot of the things don't line up, then I say no to the opportunity, even though maybe my mind wants to say yeah. So Vision 2022 is starting in January. And then for any of you who are practitioners, coaches, or healers, I have a mastermind called Emerge Mastermind, and that is the last post on my grid. And I have run a mastermind for people who have worked with me in the past, so done my practitioner training. However, I am now opening this up to anyone who hasn't worked with me, because I am meeting a lot of practitioners, especially with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, who are really pivoting and transitioning and have a lot to offer, but just a little bit stuck because there's lots of change going on. So there is an application form if you are a coach, practitioner, conventional or alternative, a healer of sorts, someone who provides services and maybe wishes to be in the online space. However, I do have experience running a bricks and mortar clinic as well. This mastermind is by application. There is going to be more details coming. You can just send me a message and we can have some voice messages, or that's going to be starting in January. So very last minute putting that out there. But if you want to jump on a call with me, you just need to fill out the application and we go from there. So with that Emerge Mastermind for practitioners, coaches and healers, this is starting in January, but January and February is going to be bonus months because it's a 12-month mastermind. You can join at any time. However, if you join in January, you get an extra 2 months with me, which is really amazing if you want to just declutter some stuff so that you can really dive into creating the business that is, you know, it just creates the freedom and space for yourself. It's your soul work. You know that it makes a difference for people that you work with. And I am very open and transparent about my journey in the last 18 months, which has been the craziest 18 months in all facets of my life. And I just want to share that with other people. So I have run a mastermind before. It's been really cool to see the changes and the offerings that people are actually putting out there, and for people to create businesses that they didn't really think were possible in a short period of time. And I'm looking forward to working with more people who haven't perhaps done training with me, but already sort of know their stuff and know that they have something pretty clear to offer to people. So, as I said, my coach will say that I confuse people because I put too many things out there, but I do work with practitioners and then I work with the general public as well. So Vision 2022 is a pretty accessible offer, $111 to join Vision 2022. We'll have a Facebook group that's going to be very active with me in it, with live calls first week of January, and then we'll keep the group open for the rest of January for you guys to share and build your community. If you're a practitioner, coach or healer, then I have my 12-month business strategy, energetics, emotion mastermind. I have 2 other amazing coaches that work with me as well. That is going to be starting in January. That's by application. You also just need to go to the link in my bio for that, or send me a message if you're watching this on another platform. And then The other thing that you might be familiar with that's coming up is the release course, which is live in February. It is incredible. This is the group where last time we had 60 to 70 people. It's run twice. This is where you come to unpack your emotions in a non-judgmental space and receive amazing coaching and support. And again, the leaps and bounds that people take in this course is crazy, as long as you are ready and you are ready to show up for yourself. Anyway, there's going to be way more information about that down the track. So my car has finished charging, so I'm going to drive back. It's about another hour and 20 back to Wanaka. I talked a lot longer than I thought I would on here, so I hope to share more with all of you live. Thank you very much for joining, and for those of you who have stayed on. Christian, so glad to hear you now. I always love hearing you speak and open to your ideas and plan on getting in your group. Yes, one day. And, you know, some of you have been following me for a while. My door is always open. I feel like I have a lot more offers available that are across a wide range of investments, and some stuff that is free as well. I'm really trying to get the Facebook group going again. I think, you know, Facebook algorithms are a little bit challenging. So to get it seen is tricky. But if you ask me a question on there, I will respond. I will usually respond and do a live, because stuff just comes through me when I am talking. But I plan to put the Zoom groups up as well. Hope you're keeping up with all of my offers that are happening for 2022. And I look forward to interacting with you, and I do hope that I get to work with some of you in my group in the future, whatever group that might be, the practitioners or the release course or a masterclass. All right, so if you celebrate Christmas, I hope that you have had an amazing day, couple of days, and that if you've got time off, you really just enjoy this time off. But please do yourself a favor and set some intentions for 2022, and just have a think about what you want to leave behind. Make a decision, trust that the universe will carry through with the rest, and that it does require you to put a little bit of action behind it. So if you're really stuck with that, then come and join me for Vision 2022 starting in January. The link is in my bio, and we'll go from there. I always have trouble finishing these off, so I better get driving, and we'll keep in touch. Bye.